Hey guys, this is Charlie McGregor. I was the hired hand for Buck and Grant. I took over their filming and camera, and I'm sad to inform you guys that both Buck and Grant Murphy had passed away. And so those guys' run at farming is now done, and we're just gonna have a nice celebration of life for these guys. They had some cool special wishes of being carried out on Buck's John Deere 5020. It was the first tractor they started farming with. They wanted to have their caskets carried out on a hay rack pulled behind a 5020. And I think Buck picked me as the driver. So we're going to have a funeral celebration of life for these guys, their career, and their entire farming series. So we're here now, and I think Pastor Bob's going to be here, and I think he said they got the 5020 and the two caskets on a hay wagon in the shed. I think there's Pastor Bob's car. There she is. Oh, there's Pastor Bob. Sorry, Pastor.
You must be Charlie, are you?
Yeah, I'm Charlie. So I was their hired helper. So I was one of their closest friends and stuff. I only knew them when they were older, though. I heard those guys were crazy son of a guns when they were younger there.
Yes, I've heard much about you from good old Uncle Buck, as everyone like to call him.
I can't believe they let him pull with the 5020. I mean, did Buck, how'd that work out?
From what my understanding was, when they were getting ready with all their obituaries, wills, and all that stuff,
yeah,
they were making purchases of plots. Grant got to pick where they were going to be buried, so in turn, Buck fought for what was going to pull them to that site.
I can't believe Grant was cool with the 5020. He had a nice 1206. I think they still got back there. Yeah, I'm sure he wanted the 1206.
I'm not sure if it was the original one to the farm, though.
Oh.
They were back in the 60s, from my knowledge.
Because this was the tractor they started with. I knew they started with one of them. Oh, okay.
That must have been. I don't necessarily know the full story, but Buck passed before Grant did. But they also both specifically said they wanted to be buried together, so they kind of held they've held him for a little bit longer, and then Grant ended up basically kicking the bucket not too soon later after. It was just hard on them all, and between 60 years worth of farming and farmer's lungs and
yeah. Just
everything else, and yeah.
And then Rex passed also, I heard.
Yeah, Rex passed, I believe, a year or two before, so
gosh. They're
all just kind of in it. Well, Rex is already there. Everybody's already been laid out.
Yeah.
According to the will, though, Buck specifically mentioned that he wanted you to be the one that's going to be pulling them to the burial site.
Yeah.
So we're just at that white church just south of Burkesville, about a mile and a half.
I visited Buck at the rest home before, and he told me he put that in the will, and he was like, don't let Jace drive the 5020. Just because he thought he cannot shift this thing. He thought he was going to put the 5020 in the ditch with the caskets.
Which is weird because from what we all can recall down at the coffee shop, they always would say that Jace was one of the best combine operators.
But he can't drive a tractor to save his life. He's all over the road. Yeah.
I have to teach that boy right. Or at least teach him on something a little bit less valuable than that tractor.
Yeah. I'm sure those two are bickering up there in heaven. I bet you.
Probably. Heck, I bet Buck probably made a trip down to the lower floors for a couple days just so he could see if he actually made it down there or not. These two are both saints.
Yeah. They'll make it up there.
We'll have you pop up here and get ready to go.
Okay.
Like I said, it's cleared off now, so I'll meet you down at the burial site. You should know where we need to go, right?
Yep.
So I'll meet you there. I got to get a few things ready for scripture-wise and sermons, so I'll meet you down there. I'm just going to get all my stuff set up.
What do you think I should play on the radio? What would they like? They got an old radio up there. Some AC/DC or...
I don't necessarily know. Buck was more of a classical guy. You kind of decipher, pick through them all.
Okay.
I think the two ended up liking about the same stuff in the end.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll get the door open and we'll head out there.
All right, we'll see you there.
We'll fire up the 5020 for the last time. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this tractor. I'm not sure who in the will gets the tractor, but gosh, this is a nice way to go. We'll get them pulled out and we'll head down the road. It's officially the last time these guys leave the farm. The last time they pull out of their driveway. Everything. I'm not sure who's going to take over the farm, but these two left a good legacy behind. Hey, you hear the crazy news?
Yeah.
We landed on the moon. It's a decent stack.
A decent stack?
Hey,
boy, that looks like a third grader did it.
Did he just stall out the tractor? Did you escape the rest home or what?
You might have bribed him a little bit. And we got this penny dropping, planter popping, pimp mobile tractor right here.
Could have just ran with gators and wagons. To their left. Oh! I know these guys were telling me stories of the 60s. I mean, I think they started in 61, and then they went through the 70s, and they had good years through there. And then 80s, I remember Grant telling me they got real tough on the 80s, and they had to sell out. And then I think they got back into farming, and then from there, it was just, they grew the farm like crazy. And then, heck, last year I was helping them farm. We were farming a lot of acres. And these guys loved every second of it, though. So, they lived a good life. It's the last time they'll head to Burkesville for coffee. I know these guys always would head here. They'd sit for coffee for hours. I'm pretty sure Mitch, one of the other hired hands I worked with, he's bringing down Chet's semi too, so they're going to be buried next to Chet's semi. I know that was in their operation for a while. Pull in here. Right over by the semi?
Yep, well, as we head right over there, you're probably going to want to just kind of weasel your way through the most open areas, otherwise you'll clip something.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you there.
Yep. Pull these guys around here. So right there. Is that the Murphy brothers? Okay, Murphy, yep. Tough time shutting off this 50/20. These are the tombstones. They made these. So that's Uncle Buck Murphy. Oh, he was born 1940, so August 2nd, 1940, so he was 80. Quick, do something stupid. That's what Buck would say. Oh, God. You see that, Pastor?
Yeah, he always told me whenever we were just chatting back and forth in the fellowship, he'd always say if he ever got caught or died by law enforcement, he always saw the cop car and went quick, do something stupid.
I like it. I like it. They got the Murphy Bros statue. That's nice. And then we got Grant Murphy, December 1st, 1938. So he was 2 years older. He was 82. Holy Toledo is what they always say. Holy Toledo. And then we got Rex Murphy, born June 2008. Financial crisis. Died February 2019. These guys are hilarious to put Holy Toledo and quick do something stupid on their tombstones.
They always wanted to go down in a raging ball of fire. They could not let their name go down without a fight. Well, to start things off here, welcome friends, family, relatives, loved ones to the celebration of life to remember the two Murphy brothers of Uncle Buck and Grant Murphy. We're gathered here today to celebrate these two and cherish their life and the matters that they always were known for being the best with the community. They loved to serve the others and help them out where they could, bring the times and the towns together, and always be there to pitch in their helping hand. They were one of the great people because of the fact that they were able to connect with a lot of people. Buck always found his time back in the early 60s and 70s when Grant mainly held on to the farm. When their dad passed on the farm to them in the 1960s, they took it at full force, but Grant took it on himself to dedicate his entire life to getting that farm up and running and make it the Murphy family dynasty of farms. And boy, did they do it. Grant held on to that farm upwards of 20 to 30 years until financial crisis in the 80s when he had to sell out. Buck, on the other hand, he ended up staying with him, but he ended up finding a career with the Holland & Sons, and they were a fabulous John Deere dealer that gave him the spot to work out and build up his career to the point where he became a district regional manager of the local, now known as Prairie State. Very successful lives for both of them, and then in the early thousands, these two came back together to complete one last stretch. They wanted to finish out farming going big. Grant had hit it big in the cryptocurrency market, and he wanted to make that and give it one last heck of a round, and they sure as heck went out in a great, huge operation. As we all know, they have retained and kept some of their original equipment, as to which Buck has made note that he would like to have a handful of it dedicated as display art at the local Prairie State dealership that he has worked at. But as for Grant, he has not deciphered what he wanted to do with his equipment. Maybe sell it off to some younger farmers to try and build their careers and build their family legacies. But again, they always wanted to have something to be a part of the community. These two will fondly always be remembered as the brothers that could never, ever stop butting heads, as this world could be as united as can be, and these two would still find a way to fight at each other. During harvest time, they always wanted to try and bring out some new talent, to try and learn some new things. Their greatest and latest crew being Charlie here, who was the great honor chauffeur to bring our boys to their final resting spot in their fond memory. But also we have Jace and Mitch. These three all together have completely changed the face of how this farm operation was running. They had the best year on record within the past 2 years now and counting, but they always wanted to share that. They never thought for themselves, and most importantly, they wanted you to say a few words about remembering them. Charlie, if you may.
Yeah, Pastor, appreciate the words. I only knew these guys for the past 5 years, but every memory and moment with them was pretty magical. Buch Murphy, great guy. He would always say it how it is, no matter what. There's a big lady walking down the street. Buck's gonna tell you there's a big lady walking down the street type. Buch is a hilarious guy, and he was one funny dude, and he was always nice though. He was always caring. And he was always nice. You know, we go out to eat or we go to breakfast, and he pays for everything. And Buch didn't have the crazy money. These guys were kind of tight, and Buch gave a lot of money to the community and stuff. So he wanted to help people out in different ways. And Grant was so focused on the farming operation, again, real nice and stuff, but he was not at the same funniness level as Buch. I mean, Buch was on a different level, and they both sacrificed a lot of their money and ended up giving a lot back towards the community and tried to help young people start farming too, especially us. They gave us a shot to help them and start farming, and we're truly grateful for that. So with that being said, Grant and Buch Murphy, great guys.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Now, with this time, I'd like to have a moment of silence as we remember these two. If you have anything you would like to say, have any more, please now share your piece. We celebrate these two, all they have accomplished and the people they have connected and the families they have brought together. We thank these two and bless their families and everything that they do here on out. We will fondly remember them, and we will also remember their great friend, Chet Elderson. As you guys can see in our glorious backdrop, they always wanted to have Chet Semi be with them till the end, as he was a great, fun character, and I bet all three of them guys are up there now clinking together their drinks going, "Welcome to the party, boys. It's a great life. It's a good life. Most importantly, we love this life." So thank you all. These two now may forever rest in peace. And we will all be better people by knowing them.
Oh
There she
yeah,
goes.
we're on payment. And now it's all down. Dude, I'm not going to be able to stop, Buch. If I have to go down this hill.
I'm gonna follow you with this, okay?
You get in the front of me, dude. Oh, slow down. Oh, we didn't get insurance yet. It's working, boys. It's working. Here, smile, Buch. I'll take a picture with Case behind you. Cheese.
I almost forgot to laugh.